Hello, Brave Awakened Ones. This is Veronica of Higher Realm Holistics, Medical Empathic Intuitive, Spiritual Counselor and Guide, Certified Holistic Integrative Health Nurse, and author of the children's book, How the Caterpillar Flew. Thank you, Patreon subscribers and donators, for all your support. And please stay tuned at the end of the video for more information about my book signing at Barnes & Noble coming up this month and information about my services. I wanted to touch on this real quick. It's a very important matter because I almost fell into this pitfall. And this video is about pitfalls of the ego and third dimensional narcissistic spirit. And this is pitfall for Lightworkers. Now, I was triggered to do this from a trigger that happened to me. I was this close. I was very close to just disabling my comments and, leaving the likes and dislikes, but disabling my comments. When I originally made my channel in 2018, I didn't even have comments up, and I didn't even have likes and dislikes settings up either, because I've ran across a few other forerunners who did videos, and I would see how other quote-unquote people who are supposed to be awakened and claim to be light workers put them on a pedestal, and the minute they don't meet their expectations or do what they think they should do or say what they think they should say, or they don't get the attention they feel they're deserving to get, they knock that person down. All of a sudden, everything you did and said that they were praising you for is invalid because of some perceived slight. Okay, so I was like, I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to be bothered. If I have to do these videos, let me just do them, put them out. I don't want it, just as long, whatever. It'll help whoever it's going to freaking help. That's as far as I want to go. Right? That was the deal I was trying to work out with my oversoul. It didn't work out that way because I had to start doing spiritual counseling and guiding. My oversoul made it very clear to me. You have a degree in psychology. You've done this before. Now you're just going to work with adults, because I was doing adolescents. And I was like, I'd rather deal with crazy teenagers than adults that won't listen. I did not want to deal with adults. But I have to say, I have saved many lives. And I'm very happy for it. But I almost felt into that ego pitfall of recoiling. That fear of fame, that recoiling. And it's not people, I've had plenty of comments from day one, trolls calling me an idiot, calling me a fake and this and that, a fraud. That doesn't bother me. What got to me, what caused me to almost recoil, was people who were like, put you on that pedestal. And I knew this would happen because I've seen it happen to others. They put you on that pedestal, and if you don't respond to them when they think you should respond or how you should respond, you're deified all of a sudden. You're awful. You're breaking their heart. You're the reason for everything going wrong in their life at that point. And I just did not want to deal with that kind of bullshit, basically. Because I'm like, if you're supposed to be awakened, if you're supposed to be a light worker, why are you still tripping on this ego bullshit, this narcissistic stuff of putting people on pedestals and knocking them down? That is a narcissistic energy. If you go on any supermarket line and look at those disgusting, filthy magazines, those rags as they call them, that's all they do. In one magazine, and it'll be the same publisher, one magazine will talk about, oh, look how beautiful they are, they're getting married. Next magazine, oh, they're this, they're awful, blah, blah, they farted in public, look how terrible they are. Oh, they have they have cellulite, they have a stretch mark. And that, unfortunately, is what the energy, the shit soup of 3D that everyone's been eating for so long, light worker or no light worker, that's so deeply embedded in you. So it's very difficult to work through. Oh, come the helicopter right over my face. Any which ways. So, yeah. So come that, because that is what we have been eating, swimming in for millennia, right? For however how long. That's a control mechanism. That's a control part of the control system, and part of what we have to work through and get over. Again, me recoiling, that's ego also. And you know, writing 5,000 word emails and 5,000 word comments and expecting a person to read them when they have hundreds of comments. Never, I'm just hundreds. You know, there are other people who have like 100,000 subscribers who have thousands and thousands of comments to read. And I still see people writing to them nasty comments saying, oh, you don't care because you didn't write back to me, blah, blah, I'm suffering. Really? And when it comes to receiving personal emails and getting these pages and pages of emails, again, that is expecting the person to feed your ego and being selfish, being straight up selfish. Because, you know, it's one thing to like write a few sentences and say, would you mind helping me on this one question? You know, and then the person responding, being grateful for that, but then to constantly expecting them to feed your ego and then shooting them down when they don't, that's a you problem. That's a real serious you problem. And those issues, whether it be like me recoiling or whether it be building somebody up and knocking them over because they don't comply with how you think they should comply to you, to feed your ego, that halts ascension, and that actually causes you to abort your divine mission. Like if I would have disabled my comments and did that, that would have aborted my mission. I already changed my work number and took it off my website because people were calling me and people just stopping by my office out of the blue and then getting upset because I wasn't there or I didn't, you know, answer them. And it's like, no, that's an invasion of privacy. And also another thing I noticed in this Lightworker community, in the healing community, I've been noticing this since I was a child. No, not just that. I'm surprised of it being in the Lightworker community. But even before I came out as a healer myself, even as a kid, I noticed, you know, people want you to martyr yourself. I am not a martyr. Not by any stretch of the imagination. People literally want you to martyr yourself. If they don't see you martyring yourself, and this is for light workers, they want you to martyr yourselves. If you're a forerunner, they expect you to martyr yourself. And if you're not martyring yourself for them or for others, you're not good. You know, you're bad. You know, and that person who's martyring themselves, allowing themselves to be drained and sucked dry. Now that is to be admired. No, it ain't. No, it's not. In fact, I feel sorry for them. In fact, I find them foolish. That's what I think of it. I think it's foolish to martyr yourself. I really do. Martyr yourself in the sense of allowing others to take advantage of you and drain you dry. And it's like, yeah, I'll do 500 free sessions a day. You know, meanwhile, I'm living out of my car. That doesn't make sense to me. I did a few of those shows, of those spiritual shows, whatever, where, you know, they sold crystals and you had readers and stuff like that and healers. I did a few of them. I did it for a couple of months just to break myself in and stuff like that. And I noticed people would drain you dry. People will freaking drain you dry. I worked with one guy and he was a shaman and he was amazing. He really was. He was really good. He was authentic, the real deal. There were plenty of charlatans there, but this guy was the real deal. And the same people who just wanted to pay him $1 a minute, who didn't want to pay full price, and, you know, who wanted stuff for free, who wanted to stay over their session time. I was just wondering where all those people were when he was so drained because he was busy working 2 jobs just to support himself. He wasn't married, didn't have kids, but he still had to support himself. He was these menial jobs, making little money, making a little above minimum wage money, but supporting his mom who wasn't well, who was older, and doing all these sessions Where were they when he was so burnt out and his managed to totally jack up his back, and he was only in his 30s, ended up in the hospital for how long? None of them came to his rescue. Where were they? I saw plenty of comments and heard plenty of people, oh, how could he not be here? He was supposed to be here. Oh my God, you know, they always just disappear. Oh, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Those are the comments I saw. So it's like, we're not meant to be martyrs. Okay. And if you want to admire somebody who's busy martyring themselves, and, you know, and I've seen other people, even before I was, again, a healer myself, and I was like in my early 20s, late teens, I watched two people die because they were giving of themselves so much instead of, again, channeling the energy from source and to give it out. They were giving it of themselves, and they felt that's what you were supposed to do. And no, I'm not going to go live in my car, live in a forest and think that's supposed to make me great. No, I'm not here to be a martyr. I'm here to make a livelihood, doing the best I can, using all the skills that I'm supposed to in a higher way. That is why I gave up a 6-figure salary, making over $150,000, $150,000 to $220,000 a year working in surgery, making less than half of that right now, to be able to, you know, feel good about what I do, to actually feel like I'm healing people and not just covering up signs and symptoms and making matters worse. And I have every right to expect a livelihood from that. Everybody does, you know, and to keep buying into that other stuff of martyrism is a 3D thing, and to build people up and knock them down the minute they don't comply with you is a 3D ego thing, narcissistic thing. And also recoiling and allowing those few bad apples to spoil the whole bunch is also an ego thing. I'm not going to disable my comments because I love it when a person, like I said, you know, I'm stuck in this spot right now. This is what's going on real quick. Do you have a quick answer for me? And I'm able to hit that nail on the head. And they're like, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you. That is awesome. I love doing that. That is cool. I love reading those comments. I love hearing what people have to say. So I'm not going to recoil and disable my comments or anything like that. And I do appreciate the other emails also. And like, hey, guess what? I saw this video and I think this confirms what you're saying. Or guess what? I'm thinking this. What do you think about this? You know, and shoot me that video or shoot me that email. That's cool too. I appreciate that also. That's really cool. That helps me grow also. You know, so I wanted to hit on that because, you know, before things get out of control, and also, again, we're at that point where you will halt your own ascension. You will sabotage yourself. The same way I would have sabotaged myself as if I decided to recoil, because it was like, ugh, you know, that was the knee-jerk reaction, that reaction instead of the responding. This is my response instead of the knee-jerk reaction. Okay, so I hope you guys appreciate my response, and I hope my response helps you as much as it helped me. Again, you can go to higherrealmholistics.com to book sessions, to get into the webinars and healing circles. I do my Reiki healing circle and tapping circles. I'm certified in EFT tapping for personal development. You could higherrealmholistics.com. I do that on Saturdays and Sundays. I do the Hermetics on Sundays. And my book signing is February 16 in South Miami for my children's book, How the Caterpillar Flew, A Journey of Self-Discovery. Available on my website, autographed copy, or you can buy it at any online book retailer. And the book signing is at Barnes & Noble's, and it should be on the Barnes & Noble shelves in a few weeks. Also, you can get meditations, my meditations and mantras from the website, also, higherrealmholistics.com. Okay, so peace, Lady V out. We already won. Victory to the light.